promised that I wasn't going to scream at the video, so I'm not. But you guys have to see this video. This is amazing. I've never seen anyone or anybody embarrass themselves, such as CNN.
Fraud sites. This all comes in response to a viral video posted by a MAGA content creator. He claims that he uncovered widespread fraud by Somali-run child care centers in the state. CNN is looking into those claims and has not independently verified the accusations. But the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services is taking the allegations at face value. Take a listen.
Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment.
However, the so-called evidence comes from a man who has posted anti-Muslim and anti-immigrant content in the past. CNN's Whitney Wild speaks.
They're already trying to minimize him as a person. Before they even give you the story, they're already going to try to minimize Nick Shirley as a person in general. He's a bad person. He said hate this and hate that. Watch how they do it.
To the man behind that video and takes a look at his claims.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you? This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video.
When did he say he was a MAGA YouTuber versus being a street journalist? I've yet to hear him state that he was a MAGA YouTuber. Or maybe he supports the MAGA party, but I never heard Nick Shirley state yet and claim that he's a MAGA YouTuber. I'm pretty sure he's a street journalist.
It's a left or right issue, but no, fraud is fraud. And so I'm not out here trying to put a twist on things.
Shirley's viral video, released over the weekend, in which he says he's uncovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud at Minneapolis daycares run by the Somali community, was retweeted by Elon Musk and Vice President J.D. Vance. In the video, Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
Did you come during their normal operating hours when you came to visit?
I came at 11 a.m., I believe, and I also came the following day later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that thief, and I also came the following day later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody to be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked. You shouldn't be able to just walk into a
There
daycare.
should be a reception.
It is
No,
reception.
every daycare is locked.
It has their doors are locked.
And so
Okay, so in this instance right here, notice what just happened. She's not able to refute anything. There are no facts involved on her end of the argument. Nick has actually done the footwork. He's actually made these calls. He's actually stepped out and came out to these locations in Minnesota, but there is no one there. All he is trying to do is have these questions answered for the American people. The facts didn't change. The tone did.
okay, you bring up a fair point. Then why can't they actually give me information how to enroll a child?
Federal law enforcement has been investigating fraud in Minnesota for several years. Both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media they've indicted dozens of defendants. DHS has posted multiple videos of agents they say are conducting a massive fraud investigation.
Do you think that federal law enforcement hasn't done enough? I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children, they're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into
That's when everything falls apart.
Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said
CNN can't do their job if someone gave them the exact ChatGPT detailed format laid out on how to do their job. They do performative journalism, not real journalism.
Video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside.
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for years.
We have talked about fraud. We have gotten stories. We've tried to push this forward every way that we can.
At the daycare where Shirley showed back up, a stream of children walk inside.
You're saying that this is a fraudulent daycare. There's kids being dropped off right now.
Yes, the Commissioner of Children literally said a week ago this place was closed.
Did you know
They're
that?
showing face right now.
A viral video, disputed claims, and their full fallout remains to be seen.
That brings me to the next video. When Nick Shirley's outside, they try to claim that his daycare has children showing up, but the daycare is supposed to be closed. We went from fraud investigation. No one said anything about anything. The daycares were running how they're supposed to run until Nick Shirley came, and then all of a sudden they had a break-in. Let's get right to it.
In the midst of these allegations and investigations, a Somali-run daycare in Minneapolis says they were broken into early Monday.
They claim vandals stole information of children in their care. WCCO's Frankie McLister spoke with employees about what happened and who they say may be to blame.
Hey, Brian, the Trump administration has launched a flood of investigations into the alleged fraud happening in Minnesota, and it's also taking steps to try to cut off the spigot of taxpayer dollars that are allegedly being stolen there. This week, the Department of Health and Human Services froze $185 million for child care in Minnesota and created new verification requirements for businesses to be able to be reimbursed. Despite the claims of widespread fraud, though, that has allegedly been allowed to go on for years, Minnesota Democrats are criticizing the president for this temporary pause.
We're taking fraud seriously. We're working every day to improve our systems, hold those criminals accountable, and move our state forward. That's why it's incredibly frustrating to me that Donald Trump and Republicans want to use this as a political vehicle to cut funding entirely to our state.
Okay, pause right there. You notice how she acknowledged the fraud? She acknowledges there was something going on, and then immediately she switched the blame. She tried to flip it on Donald Trump. Let's get back to the video. Roll it.
Republicans want to use this as a political vehicle to cut funding entirely to our state.
Multiple Somali-run childcare centers say they have been inundated by hateful and threatening messages ever since a viral video put the Twin Cities in the national spotlight. Several are also claiming there have been attempted break-ins like this one from a couple of nights ago that wasn't successful. However, police are investigating an alleged break-in at Nokomis Daycare Center, where the owner says earlier this week someone cut through a cinder block wall and crawled through a small opening to get inside in order to break into their office and steal documents with information about the children that they're taking care of.
We don't know why this is targeting our Somali community, as one video made by a specific individual made this all happen. We are not a part of any harmful things that are being said. We have no problem with CCAP, and our licensing has been good.
Yeah, while this particular daycare wasn't featured in Nick Shirley's viral video, it is one of the dozens flagged to state investigators earlier this year for continually receiving more than $1 million in federal funding, despite having multiple repeated violations on record.
They were definitely, I'm not saying that they were doing anything. I just want you to listen to the patterns. You make your own judgment.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone.
Does that not seem suspicious to you? Because when you have a building that has been under investigation for the past week or so, it seems like if someone's trying to cover something up, this would be how they would do it. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I'm saying that for the conspiracy theorists, if in case you were under investigation and you wanted to hide everything, including the employees, well, have it disappear. Roll it.
Nokomis, who was broken into, wasn't featured in the viral video. According to the Minnesota Department of Human Services, Nokomis Daycare Center remains in good standing and only has few minor violations since it opened in 2016. Now they're worried they'll be punished.
This will impact thousands of people. People will lose their jobs and hold their homes
for the crimes of others.
Those who are committing fraud need to be held accountable. We can do that without terrorizing a whole community.
Frankie McLister, WCCO News.
If you notice the pivot the fraud disappears, the paperwork disappears, the employee's information disappears. And now the focus becomes Somalian people and the access. They're trying to soften their punishment because obviously what you heard before is that they're losing funds in Minnesota due to the fraud. Now they're trying to get ahead of the gun and do damage control. This is getting really embarrassing. I want you to get the whole entire effect of this emotional display that she puts on, but she slips up. And you guys hold it together, okay? This is not funny.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.